Digital Romance TV.
Hi everybody, it's Nancy the Dating Diva and welcome to Digital Romance TV. Today's video is going to be 4 ways to strengthen your marriage, and I'm just going to get right into the topic. This video should be about 6 to 7 minutes long, so let's get started. The first way to strengthen your marriage is to make your marriage a priority, and that means putting your spouse first. That doesn't always, come second nature. It sounds common sense, but more often than not, what happens is, life happens. We get busy with our work, with our, families, with school, with, paying the mortgage on our homes, financial troubles, and all that gets in the way, especially with couples who have children and young children, babies. They often become their whole lives, and they forget that their spouse should also be their number one priority. So your spouse should be number one always. Now, what does that mean? That brings us to number 2. Speak your spouse's love language. There's a great book by Gary Chapman called The 5 Languages of Love, I believe. And it is a great book, and it talks about how to speak your partner's love language. So everyone is different. For some people, their primary love language may be words of appreciation. Maybe they feel loved when you appreciate them verbally for what they do, and you tell them that on a daily basis or, on a weekly basis, but you say it often. That is how they feel loved. So if you know your spouse to have a need for verbal appreciation, then give it to him or her. Make them feel loved. If your primary love language is, let's say, physical touch, then make sure your partner knows that physical touch is your primary love language, and your spouse should be able to give that to you to make you feel loved. There's also several other ways that people feel loved. So if you're with your partner, granted, you know that person, you know what makes them happy, you know what makes them feel loved. So make sure to do that on a daily basis. Really make an effort to do that. And in doing so, you strengthen your marriage, and you're also putting your marriage and your relationship as a top priority. You're putting them first. So always remember that. Speak your spouse's love language. It's challenging at times, but relationships are challenging. That brings us to the third way, and that's about being honest. Be honest. Lies can only hurt a relationship or a marriage. You want to make sure you're honest. Now, that sounds common sense, but most importantly, you want to remember to be honest about your needs. Okay. Specifically in the relationship. Oftentimes what happens when we're in a relationship, we have certain needs that are not being met by our partner. And granted, another human being cannot meet all our needs and every single need. But if there is a gaping hole in the relationship, if there is a need that your partner specifically is not meeting, you need to express that. You can't be shy, you can't hold back. You need to tell that person, hey, I really need you to do so and so. And by doing so, you give your partner a chance to love you back. And it's hard to be honest, not only because you're putting yourself out there, you're being vulnerable, but because oftentimes we don't know what our needs are. We just feel frustrated and unhappy. We may look outside the marriage for that sort of fulfillment, or we may turn to other behaviors, like overworking, working all the time, or being with our friends as opposed to our spouse. So get really honest on what your needs are and express that to your partner. You want to be truthful about that. That brings us to our last tip, which is to dress nice. Now, this may sound simple, but if you look at majority of marriages, what happens is people relax. People tend to relax. They are very comfortable and natural. And while there's nothing wrong with being, very comfortable or natural, or, going with no makeup around the house or so forth, it's totally fine. But you also want to remember to look your best for your spouse. This is not just for women. This is for men too. Men should present their best self. They should, try to keep up and look good and, remain the type of guy that the girl or his wife fell in love with or who was attracted to. And the same goes for women. Now, it is a challenge if you work, if you have children, you know, you might not have time to look your best, to go to the gym, to eat healthy, but you have to make an effort. And just as we put our best self forward, you know, going to work or going out with our friends, and we put on our best clothes and our makeup and perfume, you should do the same at home once in a while. You should really keep it a habit to dress nice for your man. Men are visual, and dress how he wants you to dress. If he likes you in something tight or something short, then do that to please him, because it makes him feel really good. It makes all the difference in the world. So experiment with different looks. I'm not saying you have to wear stilettos and a full face of makeup, but definitely try to look nice around the house. And that's also going to help you feel better about yourself. So try and implement these 4 tips today. We'll go over them. They are dress nice, which we talked about. They are be honest, specifically about your needs in the relationship. Okay. Speak your partner's love language. That's really important. Try to find out what makes your partner feel loved and speak that language today. So that's a little bit about today's topic. If you have any questions, you can comment below. Make sure to check me out at nancythedatingdiva.com, my website. You can subscribe to my free weekly newsletter where I answer your dating questions for free. And of course, it's confidential and anonymous. So go ahead and like this video if you've enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you soon.
If you've got a cell phone in your pocket or purse right now, then you've got everything you need to create incredible romance and passion with the man or woman in your life at the push of a button. Go to digitalromance.tv/TRB to see Michael Fiore make an entire audience of women in the Rachel Ray Show swoon, and learn how to use tiny little text messages to have the relationship of your dreams.